Hello, everybody. It is the Shamrock Pixie, and today we are doing a mental health Let's Chat. And I have a special guest with me, Mom Norgus R. You want to introduce yourself?
Well, I am her adopted mom. She adopted me. And I have my channel, Norgus R. And, we're just going to, like it says, don't judge a book by its cover. And I guess we're going to open the pages of these books of ours and, share with you our story.
Oh, we have somebody in the chat. Yay! Hi, Marie. Welcome. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of a spur of the moment thing. I haven't really done an update on what's been going on in a couple weeks, and I really wanted to kind of do it weekly, but we've been just real busy and stuff. And then I started a new adventure, well, two new adventures, and so I figured I would quickly, jump on, and then I was like, let me have Mom come on and we'll just sit and chat. So for the last couple weeks for me, it's been up and down. I got my hair cut it mostly off, although it's a little shorter. She's like, you can still pull it up in a ponytail, and well, some of it does, some of it doesn't. But
I cut mine off. Somebody dyed with pink. So what's with us? We just decided, whoa, we just gonna throw it around.
Exactly. And so we went on a workcation for 4 days. We spent it in Appleton. It was pretty fun. Got to enjoy a saltwater pool and hot tub, which I've never experienced before. And so that was pretty relaxing. And then this week, Tommy and I started a morning show at 9 a.m. Central. And I'm more of coming in and out and of the show, because there are days where I jump on with you, Darlene. And so those days I won't be on the show, but Tommy is going to be doing it every morning. It's I think the name of it's going to be now I don't remember. Hold on.
Oh, we have Pat D.
Entrepreneurs, something like that.
We have Pat D and Connie, my flipping.
Hi. Oh, yep, I remember that, Marie. Yeah, she cut hers and she went blonde so she can put the black and purple in. All right, so should we welcome a few more people? I see we have a few more people in the chat. We have Connie, welcome. Pat, welcome. Lady Freebird, welcome, my dear. And we'll just kind of keep an eye on chat as people roll in. We'll try to catch you and say hello to you. So pretty much it's been a small roller coaster compared to what it normally is. And with me starting the printing stuff, it's kind of been helping me keep my mind off of the depression stuff that happens and the PTSD. And so my thoughts have been kind of controlled somewhat. Wow, Pat, you really butchered my name. I don't have a green spider on my head. It's my scarf I got from T that I won in the auction.
Oh, wow. You got yours from T, and I got mine from Donatella.
So they're with us.
I'm telling you, we are supporting both women's channel today.
Yes, we are. Yeah, I love this scarf. I mean, I wear it as much as possible. And so it's like my security blanket. And that's what I was telling T. It was her mother's. And so her mother has passed. May she rest in peace. But I do. I absolutely love it. And it's one of my things, I think, that helps me kind of keep myself in check for as best as I can at this point. And so it's empowering, I guess you could say too. And so I do. I absolutely love my scarf, and I love yours. Your head.
I mean, yeah, when I put it on today and somebody said, it looks like a flapper. And I'm like, Destiny, I like it. I
I
said,
love
it feels like a security blanket.
Yeah,
And it comes.
I love the sparkle because every time you move a certain way, it just really sparkles. I like that.
Thank you, Lady Freebird.
I kind of like raccoon. Shiny things make me happy.
Me too. Some kind of birds do that. I think they're minor birds or ravens or something. They'll take sparkly things.
Where is your banner to say or promote something? What do you mean?
Like to put the banner, to that, we're going to be talking about Mental Health Awareness Week.
Did I spell it right? Because it sure doesn't look spelled right.
It'll autocorrect. I mean, it'll show you.
All right, so I will.
Thank you. Thank you, ladies. I'm the old lady on the thing. Oh, that's BAM.
That is BAM.
Hey, we're not. Hey, we embrace our mental health.
There we go. Yeah, I mean, we have to. I mean, we have to bring light to it because it is such a taboo thing, and even just something that even as small as hello, welcome can brighten somebody's day. It really can, and change the course of what could have happened that day. And so, it's not as taboo as it should be. And so, I struggle. I really struggle on a daily basis. And I do try to keep my mind occupied. And I do a pretty good job now since I started doing the printing stuff. I'm able to focus a little easier. But I found that, like when I did this yesterday, when I was weeding this part of it, I was so relaxed doing it that even though, I had no reason to be even just a little bit stressed, doing that, it brought my stress level down. Not completely, but it was enough to be able to calm down. And I was focused on making sure that I didn't do anything wrong with it and everything. And it's awesome. It really is. I'm excited.
It's a form of artwork.
Yeah.
When you get engrossed in something like that, it relaxes and it takes your mind off the world, and it's you and what you're doing.
Yeah, I had to go out on the porch and get the stool, and then on our door, as you can see, there's a makeshift light. We use the door as the holder for the light, and I just turn that on and start working. And so it's easier that way, I think. And to stay focused is really hard, but that really held my attention. So I'm happy about that. And then me and Jaslyn, the day I got my hair cut, me and Jaslyn spent the afternoon together. And so that was pretty fun. I haven't been able to do that in a long time. And it's nothing, with her, it's just mentally it's draining. So it's like you don't have the energy to go for a walk or read a book, and because I love to read and I love to write, and I haven't really been able to do a whole lot of that in quite a few years because it's just everything else is just so stressful and like draining. And so Pat, you keep throwing me off. Sassy. So how have you been the last couple of weeks? Or I should say last week or two.
Pat?
No, you.
Oh, yes, Pat, I do. I was looking down what Pat was saying, and it was like Pat done jumped up in the room with us. You know, I have to work. I have to work through the pain, and there's times that when what um, Dwayne calls my three-legged hamster that runs around in my head. I do. I will go all over the place with my thoughts, or the hamster just falls over on its side, and I have to ask Tracy, for words. And you guys, as much as I talk, you guys might not think that I struggle with that I'm struggling, but I do. I mean, when a word won't come to me, it makes my anxieties go up. So that's why, like I told you, Destiny, when you started on this venture to open yourself up, sometimes it helps to have that person that you can look at.
Right.
Because you feel like you're struggling to find the words to express. But there's so much love out there, and I've met so many great people. And yeah, Pat, you're one of them.
Yep. I'm a pain in the ass. Sorry. Be back in about 20 minutes. Love you, ladies. Hugs. And that damn hamster needs your hamster needs steroids.
And steroids and a peg leg. Since it only, why did Dwayne give me a three-legged hamster? That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. My hamster, sometimes I think it's got, what is that, sleeping disorder? Because sometimes it'll spin and then all of a sudden it just falls asleep.
Narcolepsy.
That's it.
I used to take medication for narcolepsy because I had sleep apnea so severe.
Oh, wow.
That in order to get through working at a conferencing center, people wouldn't know because it didn't speed me up. It just, maybe it's a male hamster.
Pat!
Ooh, Pat. I'm glad. Look, if Dwayne was in here, you two would make my hamster just sure enough probably fly out my ears. I will have to put this down. And I have my fidget, you guys. Destiny sent it to me. And
I'm really glad you like that.
And I told her, I said, it will help me when things get personal.
Yeah.
Instead of me closing my arms up and talking this way.
Yeah, exactly. Pat, really? Hamsters have rights?
Look, I have a friend now, and his hamster's name is Sandra. He really has a hamster, and he has Sandra show up on his show. And he did a raid on my show today. But so his hamster's named Sandra. I haven't named my hamster, so I might name my hamster Pat. I just did. You guys, my hamster's Pat. You made it male. You named it a male hamster. So Pat, my three-legged hamster is named Pat. And it happened on the Mental Health Awareness Channel.
Yep, exactly. That's crazy. I saw that Connie had made a comment and I skipped over and I didn't mean to, but she says when you do things like that or even adult coloring books, it has physical benefits such as lowering your blood pressure, etc. And you are correct. When you cannot focus on the negative and you try to focus mostly on positive, it does have physical benefits as much as mental benefits. I have noticed that. And sometimes it's hard. Like I know we were talking the other day and I was just kind of sitting there and like before I called you, I had like all these weird bad thoughts going on in my head and stuff like that. And, again, I was struggling with do I want to keep my YouTube channel or do I just want to get rid of it? And yeah, I struggle with that, and I'm not even sure why. Um, I don't know if it's because it's really hard to talk about mental health for me, but I know I got to do it, and I know I need to get it out there, and I know that it's um, beneficial and therapeutic for me, but it's hard just doing it, like hitting that live button to do it. And so it's a struggle. It really is a struggle. And then when Tommy was like, well, let's do this in the mornings, I'm like, okay. And then he gave me a really good compliment this morning, which made me blush, and I was all like geeked
I
up.
didn't get to see it yet.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Mr. Remington's chirping. I apologize. He's a little loud, so I don't know if he's loud for you guys or not. Um, but and then I have my birds. I have my birds, and they are also very helpful for me.
Oh, yes. Mr. Pickles, you guys. If I'm upset and I call Destiny, Mr. Pickles will pitch a fit because he can pick up he can pick up any tension in my voice. And all it takes is for her to send the phone. Let me mute real quick.
Oh, that was strange. My screen went blank on this side. Did it go blank over here? Oh, I froze. That's what it did. It froze on me.
But yeah, Mr. Pickles helps me because she will take the phone to his cage and I will talk to him, and it lowers my voice, and I'm talking to him like I would a kid that's upset. And he gives me kisses on the phone. He licks and pecks and licks the phone. So I've seen a big change with you, Destiny, since Mr. Pickles, come in your life.
Yes.
It was like amazing. And Joey, it was like you guys really needed Mr. Pickles in your house. I mean, he found you guys. You guys didn't find him.
No, he was sent to us. I truly believe that. And with Joey too, Mr. Pickles is sleeping, so that's a good thing. Otherwise, he'd be chirping away. But he's helped Joey grow too. And it's teaching Joey responsibility, and he gets excited. He asked me the other morning, he's like, Mom, can I have feeding the birds part of my chore list? And I was like, okay, if that's what you want. Well, then what did I do the last 2 mornings? Because I'm so used to doing it. I changed his water, gave him fresh food, checked his cage and everything, both him and Remington. And then Joey goes to change the water. I'm like, I already did that. He's like, but Mom, that's my chore. And I'm like, oh.
But even that's therapeutic. And I just did the cat box. And I know you guys are thinking, oh my gosh, you think doing the cat box is therapeutic? But it was like there was the cat standing there and there was my puppy standing there. But no, anything that kind of grounds you and you're not thinking about your physical pain or your mental pain is a good thing. And even if that thing is taking care of your pet, is because that they're sent here for us to take care of. And the act of taking care of something or someone else takes the focus off of what's going on with that Pat running around in my head.
Drive safe, Pat D's. He's got a grocery delivery he's got to do. So much love, Pat. Drive safe. So yeah, I mean, having them and having something other than myself to worry about is pretty cool. I my kids are getting older. They pretty much take care of themselves now. There's a few things that I still have to do for them, but all in all, they're pretty independent. They're usually taking care of me instead of the other way around, which I absolutely love, but they're 11 and 13, and they should still be kids, and they shouldn't have to worry about things. I was telling Tommy this morning, Jaslyn's always constantly asking me, Mom, how's your scar doing? Does it hurt today? Because there are times where it gets real intense pain, and she gets real concerned. And my 11-year-old daughter should not have to worry about if my incision is hurting me to the point of wanting to curl up in a ball, or if I have a migraine, or my health should not be my children's, what's the word I'm looking for?
Cross to bear.
What's that?
Cross to bear.
Yeah, but they do. There are times where I know they get upset with me and because of it, but 9 times out of 10, they are taking care of me instead of the other way around. And I mean, Jaslyn and I, we this afternoon, we're gonna paint our nails. And hi, Craig, welcome.
Hi, Craig.
Um,
Thank you, Connie, for joining.
I have to take off too. Thanks, everyone. Have a great Wednesday. You have a great Wednesday as well. Much love. Be safe. Like this afternoon, where me and Jazzy are gonna sit down. We're gonna paint our nails and stuff like that. And she wants me to curl her hair. So I'm going to. We bought a new curler. It's a curling iron that like you have to wrap the hair. It's like really strange. But she tried to do it this morning and she couldn't figure it out. So I'm gonna try to attempt to curl her hair with it and kind of do like girly stuff and see if I can get her mind off of having to worry about taking care of me and stuff like that. And then we're gonna make lasagna tonight. And so yeah, I'm not good at making lasagna. Every time I make it, it's soup. So hopefully there is a recipe on the box for the lasagna. So it's like, all right, I have been super like I've been craving. That's what I'm looking for. I've been craving lasagna. And so Jazz and I are going to attempt to make it.
My kids love mine. And mine, I used the recipe off the box. That's what I used. I found the box that had the easiest recipe on it. And I made it. Keithan is not crazy about lasagna. So he really doesn't like it. So I don't make it. But when I saw that Casey made it at April's, I'm like, all right, I love you. I love you too. Yes, ma'am. But when I saw that Casey had fixed it, I'm like, mister, you're going to make it here. But Destiny, them taking care of you, there's Leticia.
Hi, Leticia.
Them taking care of you, it probably won't ever go away because, Casey is caregiver to me and Mama.
Mm-hmm.
But he always cared about what I done. He was always there with me.
Yeah.
And so that's how, when he started developing depression and mood swings and all that, I recognized those as stuff I battled with. But I took him to the doctor. And I didn't have anybody to talk to when I went through mine. Nobody.
Right. I just don't want them to regret it later in life.
I don't think they will. They'll see it as a closeness. They'll see as you guys being close. Not that they took care of you. They're going to look at you as a stay-at-home mom. They're going to see you as you worked your tail off. And, that's how they're going to look at it.
I hope so, because I want them to be able to be kids too, and I guess I carry a lot of guilt, and so I just don't want them to regret it when they get older.
Hey Denise, we love you too. They're not going to regret it. You know what they're going to remember? Because when I didn't work and I thought I didn't have money, one Christmas we got them Dollar Tree stuff. I wrapped it in separate things, and that is a Christmas that they remembered. Mom, remember when we had that big Christmas and had all that stuff and we tore open? I said, yeah. I said, babe, we didn't have money. I wasn't working. Your dad wasn't working a good job. And I said, that was Dollar Tree stuff.
See, yeah, and the kids love Dollar Tree stuff.
So see, the things that we stress over, baby, the things that we stress over, or I stressed over when the kids were younger, those are the good memories they have now. And you're doing a great job. A great job. I mean, my goodness, who can start a printing company up and homeschool their children, cook dinner, and take care of their husband? That is a full-time job.
Yeah. I don't know which one is the bigger job, making sure the kids have what they need or the husband having what he needs.
You have to know what your value is. And, I love you. I love you, Destiny. And, God sent you in my life. And I've talked about that. He sent you in my life. And, in the morning sometimes, you guys, sometimes on Sunday nights, I start getting that same feeling, Destiny, of what am I doing? What does it accomplish?
Right.
And then I come busting out and, yeah, I draw from everybody, but do you see a super depressed woman in the mornings when you see me?
No.
Sometimes it is hard, like you said, to start that live button.
It really is. Hi, Kelly. Welcome.
Hey, Kelly.
I struggle with it, and it's like, do I have anything really that I can say that's going to help somebody? And that's a lot of times the thing too, with those negative feelings and thoughts and stuff like that. It's like, well, because you never really know. Tommy and I were talking about it earlier,
Read what In It to Flip It said.
Let me pull it up. She says, Destiny, your family is together sharing your days. That's huge. And I believe you're doing your best. That's all you can do. And the kids do or will realize it. Oh, thank you. And that's the thing. It's Jaslyn and I, once I get the rest of my paper and ink and stuff like that I need, Jaslyn and I will be working together as well with the printing stuff. And Joey will be helping Tommy more once that starts. And I'm hoping that, because me and Jaslyn, I mean, I love my daughter and my daughter loves me, but we are, I don't know if it's because we're too much alike. We bump heads a lot. But at the same time, she's constantly trying to take care of me and trying to make sure that I'm okay. And to, she's 11 years old. She should be worrying about if her doll is in the right spot, that kind of thing. And
but she does. But the moments sometimes that she's wanting to hover are the moments that you feel your space is because of what you went through, your PTSD. And you don't recognize that. But me listening to you and seeing you don't recognize the times that she is wanting to hover is not that you're pushing her away. It's that you can't feel surrounded, you know.
Yeah, see, and Joey does that too. And I do. I love my kids, but like there are times where he'll put his head on my shoulder and I'm okay. But like 7 out of the 10 times that he does it, it's like, Joey, that's a lot of pressure. Joey, I have a bubble and right now you're invading that bubble and my anxiety is going. And I hate that I have to explain that to them. And it's I wish I could be the type of mom that anytime they come up and give me a hug, and they want to cuddle, I wish I could do that. And a lot of times I can, but there are the times where I can't. And I feel like there's 1,000 cinder blocks, like holding me down.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the other night, I was like, Jaslyn, want to cuddle? And so we laid on the couch, started watching TV, and we cuddled. And it was like, it was a moment of, I don't have those cinder blocks. I don't have those boundaries that prevent me from doing it. And so I was like ecstatic about it. But then, like, I think it was like 20 minutes to a half hour. It started getting to the point where I was like, started fidgeting, and I think she knew, because then she got up and then she sat real close to me, and she had my hand, and we held hands while we finished the movie. And those little things, I'm hoping they don't misread, and so it's strange. It really is. My mom.
Kimmy's in the house.
Oh, hey, Kimmy, welcome. Oh, I see a comment here from Kelly. You feel like you can never do enough all along. You actually are doing more than enough. I hope so. It doesn't feel like it. It really doesn't feel like it. And I wish I could be like the super mom. And it depends on that moment. And it stinks. When
the key, babe, is there is no super mom. The super moms are only in the movies. Being a super mom is being there if they want to tell you something. Oh, okay. See, and to flip it said, no one is a super mom. It's a myth.
I just wish that I didn't have. Oh, you know what? I have not, Leticia. I will message you on Instagram probably in the next couple days. If I forget, please message me, because my brain gets all scattered sometimes, and I do forget. Just like I got to get a hold of Donatella and talk to her about a mug she wanted for her husband.
Mm-hmm.
I vaguely remember that conversation, and Tommy's like, just start writing this stuff down. I'm like, okay. Hi, Aunt Kelly. My Aunt Kelly is in the house. Hey, Aunt Kelly.
Hi, Kelly.
There she is. That's my beautiful auntie. She's only a couple years older than me.
Oh.
She used to take care of me as a baby.
And, I did not have the relationship with my mom. So it made me overly try to do the most with my kids. And they grew up saying I did. And, then if one kind of strays, they'll tell you didn't do your best. So, even at my age, Destiny, I still sometimes wonder if I did my best.
Mm-hmm.
But how many times have you heard Casey telling what kind of mom I was. So, you know, see, Leticia didn't get the hugs and the. Well, Casey always says, well, what's wrong with me? I didn't get the hugs. I said, yes, you did. He said, oh, well, then I must have got too many. So we joke about about the mental part. I've never hid from the kids.
Now,
And you just be straight up, because when you start seeing signs in them, you'll be able to relate.
you know, and that's the thing. I don't want them to grow up going, well, my mom didn't hug me or love me, because I would die for my kids. I would take whatever pain I could from them.
But you do give them love. And, go back and watch some of your, go back if you don't think. Watch some of your lives. Watch how your kids react. They're silly. They come up behind you and that's not children that aren't loved. Children that aren't loved are somewhere hiding.
Yeah.
I'm reading Denise.
I'll pull it up. I worked when they got a little older. I felt guilty because I was so tired and felt like I didn't give enough to my babies. They told me they always felt loved. And that's what I'm hoping with my kids, that they feel that way.
Yeah, Denise. When I was about in my middle 30s, is when my health started being hinky. And then at 40, by 40, they were both. Casey was in high school. My daughter was moved. She was married and had a baby. But yeah, that's when I started feeling tired. I didn't feel like going to the mall. I didn't feel like going anywhere with them.
My mom left when I was 1. I've worked through it, and I'm telling you, so you can see what you are doing versus what you're not doing.
Yes.
Yeah, I couldn't leave my kids. I really couldn't. It's a struggle sometimes when they make me want to pull my hair out, which I know every parent goes through. I mean, I know Tommy even goes through it, and sorry, my nose started running. And so but Tommy is like the cuddler. He's the one that's constantly giving hugs and stuff like that. And I'm very thankful that he does that. Because for a long time, Joey wasn't a hugger. Joey wasn't a cuddler. He's my oldest. He's 13. He was like, I don't, nope. And I was worried about that at first, but he has his space, and I don't want him to revert back to being like that. So I do hug my kids anytime they want to hug. It just depends on how my anxiety gets or my PTS gets for how long the hug is, if that makes sense. I mean, cuddling is a little different. It's like, got to see how this is going to flare up and stuff like that. But all in all, I try, and I at times fail miserably, but I don't know for sure if like doing, not doing the hugs and the cuddling, if that's like something that will be passed on to them with their kids. I don't want that to happen.
Well, my dad wasn't a hugger or cuddler. His family wasn't. On my mom's side, they were. And, mom, when I grew up, she would, do hugs. But if I ever had nightmares, she would come get into bed with me. Even if I felt like all day she didn't like me.
Right.
If I had nightmares, there she was. But I was the only one that would sit on my dad's lap or hug him And I was the only one out of 6 kids that, I guess because I looked up to him so much, he was who I went to until I got married. But Casey's a hugger, and both my kids would get on the bed with me even now. One's not talking to me. And Destiny, you know how I feel about that.
Mm-hmm.
But if she were, she'd probably be curled up on my bed right now. They say there's just something about Mama's bed,
Yeah.
and that they can lay across my bed and they feel comfort and that's your kids are going to be that way because you're home with them.
Well, see, and it's funny because Jaslyn is such a daddy's girl. Like, she is a daddy's girl through and through. And she will come up to Tommy and she'll be like, cuddle time? Cuddle time? Or she'll do something really cute. She'll like write him a note and say, I love you, D-Dog, because that's what she calls him, is D-Dog. And then she'll be like, he'll go, oh, that's so sweet. And she's like, can we cuddle? And then there was a conversation where he was like, I gotta make sure I get my little girl cuddles now, because when she gets older, she's not gonna want to do that. And she's like, Dad, she's like, I will always want to cuddle with my daddy, always. And so that was really cool to see. And that's why I am so thankful that he is that way with the kids. Because it does take a little bit, not much, but a little bit of that stress off of me, because he's filling in where I can't. And it really stinks, but they're understanding, but sometimes it doesn't feel like they understand. So it's crazy. The feelings are just weird. My Aunt Kelly something.
I can remember sitting on my dad's lap. There's a picture of my 19th birthday. He got me a cake, and it had he had me a teddy bear, and there was these little things that said baby. So it was like for a baby, and that was for my, I think it was my 18th birthday. And I would sit on his lap to have a picture, and he said, you're too old to be sitting on your daddy's lap. And I said, but why? And I really, back then, I didn't understand why that people would see that as weird.
Right.
I mean, it should not be weird.
Not at all.
And I really think that the reason for him saying something like that was probably that came from Mom. I really think my mom didn't like the relationship I know she didn't like the relationship. But Destiny, you do a great job, hon. You do awesome.
Thank you. Real quick. Hi, Chris. Welcome. Crystal. Rosie's Closet. Welcome. Did I miss anybody else that just came? Hi, Anamora. I don't do the singing thing, so I do apologize. But when I see your name, Kelly and Derek both pop in my head singing your name.
Yep.
So I think Kelly was the first one that I heard singing it, and then Derek sings it now. So I have both of them in my head singing your name.
I know. I hear it too. No matter where I see her name, I hear. Oh, Denise said she's 63 and her dad's 82. I would love on my dad. He was bedridden his last few years. And if I'd go in there and to talk to him, because he had a serious stroke and couldn't get out of bed. If I'd ever go in there, stop by to check on him and go in there, it'd always make my mom mad. And, I'd have to sit out there with her. But, there's Darlene B.
Hi, Darlene B. Sorry, I'm eating chips.
I know. We talked about eating right. Keegan asked me what I ate yesterday. And me and Destiny, before we came live, we were like, what am I doing? I said, Destiny, do I want popcorn or Fruit Loops? And then I said, wait, I have corn pops. That's kind of in between.
Yeah, and I have my honey barbecue potato chips. Yeah, we don't eat healthy at all, but
But
it is what it is, I suppose.
but it's a good thing. Kimmy, Cocoa Pop. Yeah, when Destiny, we talked about her speaking out about mental health. I said, yes, please do. And I said, because it's needed. It's needed. And I didn't mean to come online one day and be snotting and mental breakdown because of what the doctor told me, and just throw out there that that I'm a suicidal type of person. And before that, everybody probably thought not that cheerful person that comes on every morning never could have those thoughts as a Christian woman. But yeah, you know, um, so that kind of I kept it up instead of taking it down, because it did deal with suicide. And but I had people reach out to me and tell me thank you. So we have to take the veils off mental illness, Destiny. If you don't talk about it, it stays in your head.
Yeah, and I know that it is a proven fact that people who don't talk about it are the ones that usually do commit suicide. Where the people that talk about it, they're less likely to commit suicide.
Yeah, I drove to the lawyer the other day to drop off some paperwork, and then stopped and got a doctor's dropped something off for them to fill out. And I mean, I left there just in tears, and all these thoughts in my mind that were crazy, and just crazy stuff. And when I got home, Casey was like, well, Mom, what happened? And and I'm just blubbering and telling them that I start feeling uh the opposite. I look at everything as a bad thing when it comes to me, that people look at me and think things. And that's what goes through my mind, Destiny. So when it's you by yourself, that's when the thoughts come in. And that's with you, that's with me, that's with anybody out there that have any kind of mental illness.
Yeah, exactly. Real quick so I can catch up with chat, my aunt says, that's the only thing anyone can ask, because you try what she's saying is, if I talk to my cousins, she's doing talk to text, I bet, because she is driving. She's not a hugger, and it takes a lot for her to let people hug her or touch her in general. And it's all in how we perceive it. And I hope, honestly, I hope that, Jaslyn is a very huggy person, where Joey, takes him a little bit to give a hug. We were out at a restaurant the other night, and the waitress, she was really upset. You could see that she was upset. And Jaslyn just got up from eating, went over to the waitress, and gave her a hug. And she started smiling, and it made her night. And then as we were getting up to leave, she gave the waitress a hug again. And the lady that we had paid for dinner with, she was like, oh, you're so lucky you got a hug. And so Jaslyn turned around and gave her a hug, and then gave the waitress a hug again. And I was just like, wow. I'm like, there are people who do have a bubble child, but that's how she is. She will go up to a random stranger. She doesn't care. She'll give them a hug if she feels that, Like if she's reading that they're having a bad day, you know. So I know I'm doing some good. Just I think, you know, my anxiety and my depression and my PTSD, I think it plays a lot of havoc in my head. And so like one minute I can feel really strong and I'm like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then the next minute I'm like, nope, I screwed up. Can't do it. Done. You
Yeah.
know, I got to walk away. So, I mean, it's that roller coaster. It really is that roller coaster. And I don't like roller coasters. Like I've said before, I don't like roller coasters.
But
And then
if you're
I did see somebody that came in, and I don't want to miss saying hello to the upside down picker. Welcome, welcome. I didn't want
if you
to miss.
didn't have the roller coaster, I'll tell you like Casey, because you can't put everything on medicine. If you did not have the roller coaster, we are made to feel happy and sad and all these emotions. And of course they are a roller coaster. And for me or you, Destiny, my highs can be manic sometimes and my lows be way low to where I just want to be in the room, and that, you know, and that worries Casey. He'll come check on me. But but if we did not have the highs of happy and the lows, how would we know how happy felt?
Right. Right. I mean, like when we were in Appleton, okay, I actually was pretty happy. Like we weren't in this life sucking portal of a town that we lived in. So there was so much more to do. There was, and not even money wise, what things to do, just things to do in general. It was very welcoming. It was very, I felt at home there in Appleton. And I'm not a big city girl. I'm a small town country girl, you know, but it it felt right. And then even halfway home, it felt right that we had gone and this and that. And then we hit Adams County line, and it just instantly like sucked everything, all the good, all the happy right out of me. And I'm like, why? And Tommy was like, it's because there's so much stress with our town where we live. He's like, and that's most likely what is going on. So, you know, we want to move out of this area because there's a lot of demons here. I don't know how else to explain it.
Well, it's the spirits around. It's the you can tell. You know, if you drive through a bad neighborhood, you will start feeling weird, like you start feeling fear and anxieties.
See, when you go through our town, if you don't live in our town and you go through our town, right, and you stop at the store or the gas station or whatever, you know, it's like, oh, this is a cute, wonderful little looking town. You know, it's got a good vibe to it. But the longer you're here, the more your life essence gets sucked from you. And I don't know why that is, but maybe because we've dealt with so much stuff in this town, negative, nasty, icky. I mean, now you can't even go into a public place in a parking lot without somebody ODing. You know, it's horrible. And so, are you still there with us? I think she froze. Or did I freeze? Let me see if I pop her out and add her back in. Nope. I think she'll be right back. Thought maybe that would help, but I see. Okay, so it wasn't just me. All right, good. It's let's see. Denise, when I was young, I would be alone a lot, and I made up this imaginary place I could go to. I went there a lot. I've done this as an adult too when things get too hard for me. Yeah, and I do that as well. Like, I think that's why I'm so attached to anything and everything that has to do with Ireland. Yeah, it's my heritage, it's my life, or my, what's the word I'm looking for? Genealogy. Is that what it is? Where, your family lineage or whatever it is. That's who, um, that's who. Okay. You there?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was yours. I'm like, what? We done lost her.
I know, right? It's crazy. But what I was saying, I'm very attached to Ireland. It's in my blood. And that's the place that in my head, when things get really, really bad, I go to. Like, what I've seen a lot of pictures. I've talked to a lot of people. I've actually done live chats with people in Ireland, or not live chats, but like FaceTime chats with people in Ireland. And those memories of what I've seen of Ireland, that's my escape place. That's where I go, to sometimes get away from all the negative. And then even then, sometimes it creeps in and it's like, nope, gotta. Sorry. Did you hear that? Did you hear the yelling?
Yeah.
Okay. I was just hoping it wasn't just me. But yeah, I go places in my head, like, and I do a lot. I've done a lot of reading, and a lot of the books that I've read are Scottish, paranormal romance, Irish paranormal romance, and Irish and Scottish historical romance. Those are like my two favorite genres of books that I like to read. And so the visions in my head from like reading a book or whatever, sometimes I can just like put myself in that place so I don't have to deal with the everyday adulting thing that we have to do as an adults. And so Destiny, that is our oh wait, my aunt said something again. Destiny, that is our society, and you cannot let it tell you how to live or how to be. You have to be who you want and work and strive for what you want. It doesn't matter what city, what town, what state. And I agree with that. I really do. And maybe this is the gypsy part of my heritage. But I've been in this town way too long, and I can't do it. And it messes, like, our town really messes with people's mental health. And there are things that happen that should not happen. And it does. It sucks your life right out of you. And it stinks. It really does. And then I saw another one here. I want to kind of try to touch base with everybody, what you're saying. Lady Freebird says, wow, my town Destiny is, what is that, horrid?
Yeah.
What does that word mean?
Horrible, horrid.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure.
Belfast in her mind. She goes to Belfast in her wee city.
Yeah, that's I've seen pictures of that place and it's beautiful, but Ireland is a beautiful, beautiful place. It really is. And so is Scotland.
Yeah.
They have their good, their bad, and I understand that. But my favorite is the cliffs where the ocean is coming in and slamming up against the cliffs and stuff like that. That's my thing. That's a lot of times that's besides the one woods area that a friend of mine took me through near his house in Ireland. That's one of the other things that I kind of imagine in my head with Ireland where I go. And so, let's see. I would read books to take me away into another world. Yeah, see, and that's another thing I do too.
I did, but I can't focus now. I can't keep my thoughts when I try to read, and it's like I look at the computer so much it's messed with my eyes. But that's what I would do, because when I get in a book, I can shut I don't hear nothing. I just hear and see. I visualize. But Destiny, where I am fortunate, I grew up with us moving from California back here, from here going back to Alabama, and from Alabama back to California. My dad and they moved everywhere. It was an adventure, but I never felt I had a home. I never felt I had stability. When I met Kevin, this house was built for his mom's mom and dad in 1914. So this is home. So my comfort is this house, this home.
Yes, please, Lady Freebird. Sorry. She said the mountains of, and I'm sure I'm going to butcher it.
The Morns.
Yeah, sweep down to the sea. I will video for you, Destiny. That is awesome.
Lady Freebird, is that where you're from?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
I did see one more thing real quick.
Yeah.
Rosie's Closet says, which is Crystal, don't move here then, Destiny. It's a harsh town and people are rude and mean. You know, when we went to Vegas, it was, I don't know, it was refreshing and I felt at home there too. And I understand that, people are mean and rude, and they are like that everywhere. But when we were there, it was like I could breathe, and I could do the same thing in Appleton, but I could really breathe a lot better when we were in Nevada, and Vegas area, and I could sing. I could flipping sing. And to me, I like the fact that I could sing and I could breathe. And so I could, deal with the rude and mean people if I can do those two things without an issue. And I don't know if people understand that, but it was awesome. And I mean, there's a couple different places out towards Nevada. There's Arizona and Nevada, the two states that we're looking at, which are definitely like on the top of the list of places for us that we want to move to. We have to be careful for humidity. We have to be careful for the cold. And so, wow, he is really loud down there. Tommy, are you watching? You're really loud, sassy man. I'm thinking he's yelling at somebody, but it's clear that he's excited. So I don't know who he's talking to downstairs, but he's like.
Rosie, when you just if people go as tourists, they're only going to see what the town wants them to see. You don't see the outer part where, like you said, it's ugly. My husband was a truck driver, and some of the places he went to, I wished I could. But he only saw the ugly parts. The parts where the truckers went had to be the bad part of town.
So real quick, in it to flip it says, I couldn't focus on books either. Audio has given me back that escape. I can't
do audio.
See, I
I,
like audio, but I also like to read. But it has to be a paper book. Like I have an Amazon Kindle app on my phone. It's not the same as physically touching that book and physically turning the pages
yeah,
for me. But I do like the audio because of the fact that now with me doing this, I can have it playing in the background. I can still read my book and get lost in my book, but I'm still working and doing this stuff here too. So it's a win-win, sometimes not a good win, but a little win type, situation. And Lady Freebird answered you. She said, Northern Ireland. Yes, Darlene. I'm wee
mm,
Patty. LOL. And then Rosie said, if you stay on the strip, it is completely different. Once you get off the strip, the town is ugly, full of homeless, drugs, and alcohol everywhere. And I actually have a story about a homeless guy. We were staying off the strip, the Vegas strip, when we went down there. And we it was far enough away, but yet close enough to where we could walk. So we walked to the Vegas strip, and there's a homeless guy that was sleeping. Like they had the palm trees by the stop and go light, and there was a homeless guy sleeping there, and I didn't know. And I'm standing there, and he's like right behind me sleeping. I had no idea. And the kids turn around and were like, Mom, your boyfriend's laying down. So I look at Tommy thinking, I'm like, no, Dad's right here. No, Mom, turn around. And the guy rolled over, and he was like that close to the back of my feet. Like if he would have just went a little bit more, it would have been like he was trying to hug my feet. I had no idea. Scared the tar out of me. And now the joke is the kids keep telling me that my homeless boyfriend lives in Vegas. They're sassy, but I love them to death. But
now, who talked about Atlanta? See, I lived in Atlanta, but I stuck to my own.
uh, yeah, right here. I did have it
I
right.
stuck to my own self, and I stayed in the apartment. I did not like living in Atlanta, and but I live in Alabama. And to tell you the truth, I go to the grocery store. If I meet new people, I
Mhm.
smile, and we have I can't say camaraderie. Or if I'm in, I'm a random hugger. Deep fried deals. I'm
Yeah,
that
because
person.
Andy Fradiels is with us, and I popped his comment up. Welcome, welcome. By the way, you
But
know,
yeah,
I have to
I'm
say,
that crazy woman that hugs random people and
so
talk.
you're Jaslyn.
Yes, I was just saying a while ago. But the people react. It's like maybe Jaslyn's like me. She may have that sense of discernment to know that hey, somebody needs a hug. And so, but
Yeah. Well, and
I,
he says, people are fairly rude in major cities in general, even in Atlanta. In the South, people are pleasant, but it's only surface level, zero sense of community like you find in small towns. Well, I think my town that I live in, I think it's backwards because our small town is very, what's the word I'm looking for? Corrupt, and the people are rude. And so our town, if you are not a druggie or an alcoholic, they treat you like you have a plague. They only cater to people who have drug and alcohol issues in our town, and that is not okay.
yeah,
Because I understand, and I'm not saying that it's a bad thing that they do it, but they need to treat everybody equally. And so when we were having some issues here, um, they wouldn't help us. They wouldn't help us because we were not druggies or alcoholics, and I couldn't understand that. And so I think our town thinks it's a big city with a small city area, if that makes sense.
You see what Lady Freebird said. I remember it hasn't been that long ago.
Right here.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah, I remember
a little girl in
when
Belfast.
Belfast was having all that going on over there. And I thought, oh, wow, that's so bad because it's such a beautiful country that you see.
Now, Lady Freebird, real quick, is the north part of Ireland and the south part of Ireland, is there still like a wall of some sort? Is it still divided even to this day? I know their history is very crazy, because I've done research and stuff on it, and it is a very confusing situation even to this day.
Yeah. It was real volatile. I remember and I'm 55, and I always loved faraway places because I read. And, I'm like you, Destiny. I would, read these wonderful books. But in reality, I thought, wow, I'd be scared to death to go over there.
Mm-hmm. Okay, she did say that North and South are still split. And it's sad because they should be working together, just like, even the United States. We should be working together and not having the split that we do. And I don't mean racial or anything like that, just politically in general, there is a split. And so, I wish we could all work together and accept each other. Not everybody does that. And so. Oh, okay. See, she said I lived in the north and was evacuated to the south. Now, I don't know much about the north part of Ireland. I knew that it's a smaller area than the rest of Ireland. But that's about really all I really know about the north. And I know that they're separated from the north and the south are separated.
So we're talking about mental health.
Mm-hmm.
Lady Freebird, and I don't mean to take over your show.
No, okay.
Do you have PTSD over what you had to go through? I mean, we've been blessed in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
We've been blessed. We don't have our cities bombing one another.
Mm-mm.
So how did it affect you?
Yeah.
Me and Denise are going to hook up. She lives close enough we could meet up.
Awesome.
See? So, I never knew that. I've seen you, and I think you come in Porch Church, and I've seen you many times. But, people feel like they can't just throw that out there.
Right. And so let me tell you a little story about our Lady Freebird. So when I had the issue with my spleen and it had ruptured, I had come home, and the very first package that was sent to me was from our Miss Lady Freebird. My Ireland roses is what I called them. And that warmed my heart that she thought of me that way, to send me something like that. And I love it. I still have one put away, because it was the very first gift outside of my family, my immediate family, that somebody had sent me something, and to let me know that I was special and that I was important and that they were happy that I was still here. So I will always and truly be thankful for that.
Did you see where Lady Freebird said that they Their game as a child was dodge the bullet.
Oh, that's scary.
We live in a small town in Alabama, and what's so bad is there have been, I know a woman, her son was doing so good, and he was killed in a drive-by shooting. And that was, hey, that was 2 miles up the road from me. And it hurt my heart so bad because he was doing good, and he just happened to be in the house next door. There's shootings here all the time, and it's hard to believe that right up the road, you know, that one time my husband, a prostitute, come up to his vehicle, and I went up the road to try to find that husband and said, "Look, you best take it to another street. I don't want that on my street." But to just know that I love this home and wouldn't want to move, I just hate, what's going on. But so far there hasn't been shootings here. But my husband will call me and say, "Make sure the doors are locked. There's been a shooting on such and such a street, and the police are looking for them. Make sure the doors are locked."
We just had that the other night, the other day, actually. I think it was like 2 days ago, right? Like, so we live in town, but we live on the outskirts of town. And so the next major road from us is probably a country 2 blocks, like, how do I do it? It's 2 blocks, but they're country blocks. And somebody, or 3 guys, were in a vehicle. Two of them got out with masks and tried to rob a home, just right down here. Not last year, maybe it was last year. Last year, they found a gentleman who had OD'd. They were partying, him and his friends, and he OD'd, but because the friends were too out of it to get him help, they just dragged him out to behind the garage, put a board over him, and went back in and used up his stuff. And I mean, I was reading the police report for that, which I probably shouldn't have, but I did. They were going to take him to the lake and just throw him in the lake. I'm like, who needs friends or who needs enemies when you have friends like that? That's the kind of thing that we deal with here. And so you were saying that with keeping calling and making sure that you have the doors locked to fill you in, we have to do the same thing here. And I don't know if your town is bigger than mine or not.
Probably not. I mean, ours is tiny compared to the town next to us. I mean, they talked about incorporating at one time that we're just a tiny town. But bad things happen, and Lady Freebird, you talked about dodging the bullet. Having to grow up to that. I shared openly on my channel one time, and it was my own mom that put a gun to me. So I guess I still have dreams and nightmares about stuff that I grew up. But when I first started YouTube, I felt like I couldn't talk about personal things, that I shouldn't talk because my mom's still alive, that I shouldn't tell things that happened in my life. But you know what? I just decided, hey, it's my life. It's my story. It happened. I don't care if nobody else, I don't care that if my mom says it didn't happen. I know what happened to me as a child. I know what happened to me as I grew up. Did it make me a bitter person? No, I think it made me. Donatella told me yesterday that I was sweet kind, and loving. What more can somebody tell you?
Right.
So, like with Destiny, and like with me, we are loving, we take in anybody's love, we take it in and we hold it to our heart. And we do anything and everything to try to keep that love and not be hurt. But, then I don't know about, I can't speak for you, Destiny, but there's always that part that if the love goes sideways, we hurt extra hard.
Oh, yeah.
Extra hard.
That's actually perfect to explain it,
We have huge hearts. And, I explained to Donna, I said, I told her some things that's happened in my life. And I said, but I have to give love, and I have to try to make the world a happy place. That's why I do what I do Monday through Friday. But I don't stop on Fridays. Like I said, if I go in the grocery store, customers can be ugly to the cashiers. I try to show love wherever I go. I thank God that I met Destiny and Tommy. I mean, Derek. I've even called Kimmy before, but for some reason I gravitated a lot towards Derek. Derek's he's my funny buddy. He's my funny buddy. The person that checks on me late at night is Mothership Products, Wayne. I will get, if I'm on the computer and I can't sleep and it's 10 o'clock, I'll get a boo. So he's my boo. Tommy is my protector. So Tommy is my protector, and me and Destiny understand one another. We're kindred spirits because we know trauma. We know trauma. I'm talking about trauma of the body. If you've ever been beaten by a spouse, beaten by your parents, things like that, they scar you, they do different things. And I feel like that's what God wanted me to meet Destiny for. But, I feel so bad sometimes. I will call her and break down. But there's times she'll call me sometime. Next thing I know, I'm breaking down and I'm squalling about the same thing. She'll be crying about her kids, and I said, how can I help you? I can't even help my own. And then I get to cry, and I say, I'm a hypocrite. So we'll get to crying together. But
when we're done, we feel better.
Yeah.
And we're like, we giggle. There are times where we laugh because we're feeling the same way, and the only way either one of us can express it is just to cry. And after we have that really good, very releaseful, I don't know if that's a word or not, but if not, it works. That good cry that just releases everything, we'll start laughing.
It is like, what you gonna have for supper? I don't know what you gonna get for supper. And I mean, that's sad. Oh my gosh, what Deep Fried Deals just said, that the study published. My dad, I can remember being about 14 or 15, and I talked about my best friend. I said something about best friend, and my dad looked at me so serious. He said, he always called me baby. He said, baby, if you are lucky enough in your lifetime to have one true friend, then you've been blessed.
Mhm.
And I thought, no, I have a lot of friends. And there's truth in that. But you can't go around thinking, well, I just have one friend and I can't have another friend because, my dad said, but I understand what he meant. And when you come on this platform, you have to be strong. You get your heart broken sometimes.
Oh, yes.
And I've called Destiny, and said, what do I do? I don't know what to do. And then go on my porch with the phone. Tommy's sitting beside Destiny, and Tommy's listening to me. Thank gosh I got them, you guys, because Keegan ain't got to listen to it.
In it to flip it has to run. Please be safe. Much love, and thank you for coming and joining us today.
Thank you for listening. So, lady, that she invited.
You're not old.
But even if like last night, I don't even remember what we talked about last night. Destiny said, "Can you talk?" And I said, "Well, let me get my cell phone." Because my husband was asleep, and I come in the kitchen and I forget. I mean, so it means that undoubtedly it uplifted us for some reason because we didn't bring it into today.
Yeah. I don't remember it. I think I just needed to, I don't know if it was just to hear your voice or what it was, but I was just like, Tommy was talking to Anthony, and
Yeah.
I think the dark thoughts were starting to like creep in, and I knew he was talking business with Anthony, and I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna get a hold of Darlene and see if she's
Well,
up.
your house was dark too. You
Yeah,
were in the dark when you called. But
yeah,
see, then Mr. Pickles, that's when he gave me the love. So when Mr. Pickles picked up on, not, I think he picked up on yours. And then I talked to him, and I've talked to Tracy. I've talked to Liz Ann, and Denise. Denise, you better say you couldn't tell anybody. You better because if it's late and you send me a text message in Facebook, I can lay there and message. But yeah, Destiny just wanted to hear my voice, and and that was fine. Because we get to see each other like this, and she's sitting at my table. I come back in here at the table, and the table sometimes this chair gets to feel like I'm sitting in a electric chair or something, but it did me good too. It really did. If Kevin would have woke up, he would have thought, "You're with these people all day. Do
yeah.
they want to hear you anymore?" But they're you guys, my family.
But I think it's different when it comes to Tommy and I. I really do, because he's even going, hello. He knows.
Well, if Kevin had been awake, if Derek messages me, I'm like, something's up. I say it's Derek, and he's fine. And Kevin will do the fingers on the side at Derek like this, just throw up the peace sign at him, and Derek just dies laughing. So there's Liz Ann called one night. It was about 9:30, and I'm like, oh, Kevin, that's Liz Ann. I got to take this.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's people in my life that they did not know I was suicidal. I did not know. It took a while before Destiny could talk about her issues.
Mm-hmm.
What happened with your spleen? I still, when I go outside on that ramp where I fell and had to take the 8 staples in the back of my head, it took 2 months before I could even walk out there, and the blood seeped into the wood. and it was a discolored, but I knew what it was. I have an irrational fear of falling and hitting my head again. Um, I called somebody that had PTSD. He was in the military and got he was let out for what you call it, honorable discharge. And I felt foolish to call and ask him, can you have PTSD from falling and hitting your head?
Mm-hmm.
I told myself, all I could hear was myself screaming in my head. And I didn't tell Kevin to start with. And because that's what I did. I screamed and I screamed for help. And I had blood. Everywhere was blood. It was all in my hair. It was on my arm. It was in my hand. Because they say head injuries bleed a lot. But he said, yes, that's normal. He said that's normal to have PTSD about that. But I still have the irrational thoughts of standing there looking down at that wooden ramp. And it's irrational to me. And so, Destiny had her spleen blow up.
I'm still nervous to eat at the Chinese restaurant. I'm still nervous to walk into the Dollar Tree. And it's now filtered into other buffets. I know that it had nothing to do with how much I ate. It happened at that particular moment. But it still affects me. It is part of my PTSD. And Tommy and I were talking this morning because there was a post on our scanner page of this lady's comment. And I took it differently than how Tommy took it. Sorry, had to close that up. And he agreed with her comment, and it was about the hospitalizations, the institutions for mental health. And he agreed. The mental health stuff has, come more out to the light and stuff like that. And I took it as, wow, she thinks everybody who has mental health issues should be institutionalized. And Tommy had to break it down for me, saying that's not what she was saying. It's people who are severe. And him and I got into the conversation that, a lot of times, people who don't have mental health issues pretend to have it so they don't have to do things in life. I don't know if I'm even explaining this right. But then you have the people that truly do have the mental health issues, and they're being put on the back burner for the people who don't have it. And it's not, he doesn't feel that it's okay. He thinks that, if there's a way to, I don't want to speak specifically for him because I know I'm probably going to butcher it and it's not going to sound good. But, if there was a way that I could get put into a hospital, be evaluated for 6 months so they could figure out every single trigger, every single thing that affects my PTSD, my anxiety, my depression. And I had anywhere, even a 25% chance, 25, 50, 75% chance of walking out of that hospital and knowing that I'm going to get better because I know every single trigger and I can correct it or I could get better. I would do it in a heartbeat because I want to be better. I want to be able to not have the pressure and the anxiety flare-ups and the PTSD flare-ups because my child wants to cuddle with me. If I could control that, or if there was a way that I could figure out how to fix it, I would do it in a heartbeat. But they don't offer that. They don't.
But you know, Destiny, think of it this way. You're sharing.
Yeah.
You're talking to people like you would a therapist. You're a therapist is no more than you letting it out, talking about it. It took me, and I never did explain to Kevin. So I'm trying to think how long ago. All right, Casey's 30, and he was no, Tiffany was in high school and she graduated in 2003. So me and Kevin have been together since 86. It took that long. He was tickling me one time, and my ex-husband tickled me and I passed out one time. I can't be tickled. And in my head, I knew it was not normal for me to cry and not want to be touched after somebody tickled me. I knew that wasn't normal.
Right.
And, I finally told Kevin, and I didn't know how to tell him, that I said something must have awfully happened to me when I was a child for me to feel this way. And so he never tickled me again. So there's like triggers, like you said, but we pack things so far behind in our minds, Destiny, that we know there's something, but sometimes it comes to us in time. And oh my gosh, it took me 30 years 32 years in our marriage for me to tell Kevin the darkest, deepest, awful thing that happened to me. And why didn't I share that with him years ago? You
didn't feel comfortable doing it, and that's how it is with me too. I'm going on, let's see, May, June, July, August, September, October, almost 5 months since my spleen ruptured, and I'm starting to get some of my memory back of what happened there. And like this morning, I had to ask Tommy if I was imagining things, or if it was the medication, or if it was just, if it really happened. But I remember Jaslyn and her face, in my face, doing this. I didn't remember that before. So I have good memories, but I also am starting to get the bad memories. And I wish the bad memories of that night or that day wouldn't come. I just want the good ones, but I know you can't have the good without the bad, and vice versa. But I still have a long road to recovery for it. And I don't know how long with this happening, how long it's going to affect me. I really don't. And it's crazy. And I did just see Rosie, Crystal, Rosie's Closet. She said, it's hard to get mental health services here. My son has not seen his counselor for 2 months now because I have been fighting with insurance to pay for more sessions. Yeah. And that's the problem. They will fight you tooth and nail so you can get help with your mental health. And anybody who has family that's like this, because I have family that have passed away from this and stuff like that. But a druggie who refuses to get help can OD in a parking lot repeatedly and get free Narcan. There's something wrong with the system. There's something wrong.
Or they get mental health help. When Casey one time was spinning out of control, he wasn't living at home. We all worked at the same place, but he's living with Tiffany. The doctors had him on so many medications, and he spun out of control. And we took him to a place that he was really ready to go in. They wouldn't take him because he did not overdose himself. He did not cut his wrist. He did not try to kill his sister. He did not get help.
No.
And you know, so now he just takes, he doesn't have insurance, and even my insurance does not pay for mental health.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, and that should be what they're focusing on. That and people who have cancer. I don't feel that people who have cancer should have to pay for treatment to get better. I really don't.
I thought insurance helped
It's
the.
supposed to. Insurance is supposed, that's why you pay the money every month or every year to have insurance. And the more you pay, the less they cover. And it's ridiculous.
You know, Rosie, a lot of cases, he had body there's a name for it, dysmorphic something, to where Casey sees himself. He doesn't like, well, this was used to, and I hate to bring Casey up because it's his story to tell, but whatever it was that they said he had, he did not see his body the way his body looked. He hated to look, you know, he hated the way he looked, and to the point that he was really, really way too thin. And so, you know, and there's another thing, they could have tested. See, they could have tested to see his hormone, if, you know, we all have both testosterone and hormones. And my stepdaughter she'll flat say she has more testosterone in her body than she said hormones. And I think it's flipped with Casey. Now they will treat stuff like that. But, you know, Casey's 30 and he does, yes, thank you. Um, and, you know, Casey, I really don't feel like I'm telling anything that he's never shared openly. Casey has been very open and vocal about this stuff. Oh, um, and you know, why are there so many children with autism? I don't understand that. But it's helped, and I'll ask Casey sometimes. Casey, did I share too much? Because I'll take the link down. Um, I asked Destiny one time. I said, Destiny, because I wasn't looking at the chat. I was so, whatever I was talking about, it was so personal that I was like closed in on myself. And I said, did I share too much? And Destiny told me, no. Did you not see the chat? Did
Yeah.
you not see people open up and understand? And I said, no. And she said, go back and watch the comments.
Mm-hmm.
And when Destiny wanted to go on this, I told her, do it. I said, do it. And I told her, if you ever want me to be on with you, so you can be more comfortable telling your story, because I'm at the point in my life, I I know what happened to me. Um, the one person that messed me up in my teenage years, he died, and I think that's what triggered the point of me being able to say what happened, because he died. And that's why I do what I do, and I get up and I cut on my computer. And when Destiny or Tracy or any of you guys come on in the mornings, you guys bring me joy. And all I could ever want to do for Destiny is be be that quick mom, to, if she wants to be talked down from They're driving me crazy. Just the fact of, oh my gosh, they are driving me crazy today. I understand.
Yeah, it's a struggle. I think, did you freeze? Are you still there? No, you're still there, I think. I don't hear you though.
I was reading the chat.
Oh, okay. Um, oops. Okay, there. My computer's being silly because I need to click where I need to click and it's not clicking where I want it to click, and because of my hand. But, all in all, I mean, I thank you for coming on today with me and being here with me. I think we're actually going to sign off here in just a few minutes. So, yeah, Tommy's quiet now, but he's live with Anthony and them.
So Destiny has hers, and I started it's called Suicide Awareness on Facebook.
Do you have a link for that, or do you want me to find it?
You can find it because I can't come out on nothing of mine because
Right.
you guys, I'm waiting for a blessing that I get me a better computer that will allow me to be like Casey, to have maybe 2 screens. Casey's got 3. But
Oops.
I think so too, I guess, Rosie. You are welcome. And I posted this, I sent it, shared it on that because Destiny struggle with what's going on in her mind is a different struggle that I have, but we can all say that it's fine to talk about it. And Rosie, it's fine for you to talk about, your son. You see people, they didn't want to talk about the different, they didn't want to, they would hide if they had an aunt or uncle or a child that was different, they would hide it away and not talk about it.
Yeah.
We can't do that. We can't do that anymore.
Sorry. The rise in autism is not a rise at all. We just have better ways to test for it now. Before, kids just had different diagnosis.
Or they were maybe in school, they were the kids that people would call, oh, they're weird. They don't want you to sit by them, or would call them different things. A lot of people don't. You know what, Lady Freebird? I do more YouTube now than I do Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'll put something on Facebook, and I'll have my aunt or sister say, "Well, why haven't I heard that you just had surgery?" Oh, I thought everybody knew.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody on YouTube knew, but I'm sorry I didn't pick up the phone and tell you, but I do some on Facebook, but it's like the people that are here, you can interact this way.
Yep. Yeah, and here, yeah, there's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes, but all in all, we don't judge. A lot of us do not judge because we've been there, we've done that, we struggle, and it's not our place to judge. It really isn't. I'm pulling up your link for your channel, Miss Darlene. We're gonna put that in the chat.
I get excited over the little things. Oh, let me All right, Sarasota,
Florida.
Herald Tribune, my own sister didn't know, and I'm 55. She didn't even know. She's 7 years older than me until this few months ago that I tried suicide twice in high school. And it was something I didn't talk about. None of my family knew.
Is Sarasota right outside of Orlando?
I think Sarasota, Florida. I love what Lady Freebird said. Her life's thought is never look down on anyone unless you're helping them up. That is such a very great quote.
Yes,
Very great.
I love that quote. That is amazing.
And we have to stick together. We have to figure, build each other up. With me and with Destiny and with Tracy, that's on my channel. You know, we don't have, well, she's about to have, and then I do a little bit hats. I do a little bit sums, but sums. That's a new word, Destiny. Sums. I do a little bit of sums. But you know, I tell people I don't have anything to give but myself.
Mm-hmm.
But Destiny is such a freaking cutie. I mean, how can you not love her? She brings a light and she doesn't realize that light. And Tracy, bless her, you guys. Tracy is God sent to me. And no matter how much she says that it's the other way around, she is to me. And Mama, everybody knows Mama. Everybody. So you know the Crawleys. We live in an old house. Casey reads from the Bible. Mama does dream catchers, and probably talks inappropriate at night when I'm asleep. And I yell at her. And I come on in the mornings, and I love it. I love the social interaction that I wouldn't get. I'm not in my bedroom for 3 years in a dark room just watching TV. And like I said, Destiny and Tommy, I know they're there. And it shocked me when her spleen, even you guys, before they even took her back, Derek said she was telling Tommy to call Casey. And when Derek called me, and he was like 4 people on Facebook, you know, when he called, and he said, all I know is Tommy said that Destiny said Casey's name for Casey to pray.
Yep.
That was the biggest compliment as far as showing that she knew that we would pray, and it would be a real prayer. And you know, I'm like, wow, Destiny has really just met us, and that's what she thinks of us.
Yep.
So
I mean, literally, I was minutes away from death, and all I knew, and I told Tommy, you need to get a hold of Casey and Darlene, and you need to have them pray, because I knew that if I was going to be able to get through this, it was because of them praying. And I'm here. I am here.
And the next morning, the next morning we're talking about it. And we're talking about still pray, you know, you guys pray for Destiny. This happened last night. Next thing I know, poop, there is Destiny. And I'm like, what?
I don't remember.
I'm like, oh my gosh. Oh, she's alive and she's on YouTube. She's gonna make it. That's what I was thinking. And she don't remember.
Boobs and all.
And then she called me back again and she showed me her scar. And you guys, she showed me her scar, which wasn't bad. I mean, no, that wasn't bad. You didn't show me all of it. It was very appropriate. Then she accidentally, we're going to end with the laugh now since Pat is my little hamster in here. I get a call and I'm like, well, oh no, it's Destiny again, Keith. And it's about 10:30, almost 11. Oh my God, something must have happened. I'm laying in bed with my little tank top on. I'm laying there in bed and boom, there's Pat D's in my face. I'm like, and I pull up my cover and I'm like, well, hey. And he said, well, hey. And I'm like, where's Destiny? And I'm looking at my phone. Where's Destiny?
I don't remember.
Look, you guys. Well, hey, Pat. And I really didn't know him. Where's Destiny? He said, and then I see Destiny. She said, hey, Mama. I said, hey, baby. Are you okay? And she says, yeah, where'd you come from? You called me. And then she's like, I have a scar. I'm going to have a scar. They cut me from here to here. And she got to fiddling with her sheet. And I'm like, no. I said, no. But I'm just, and you know, you got to figure the following night of her surgery, of such a major surgery, you know, they had her on the meds. And Pat said, well, okay, I think I'm going to go. I said, yeah, you might better. You might better. But we can laugh about that. And
I really don't. Like, there are certain things from that day, the very first day, that I'm starting to get back, but I don't remember anything else other than what I've been told that happened at the hospital. I still watch the next morning on your live. I still haven't been able to watch that because I just break down and cry. Real quick, we have Annie. Welcome. I did not get a chance to say hi to you. And Paul, welcome. He is my Scottish friend.
And Lady Freebird said she just about burned the house down lighting candles for you.
No, I didn't want anybody to burn their house down or anything like that. But, you know, and that's the thing. There were so many people that I didn't realize that I had touched. So when, like, I got the flowers from Lady Freebird, you know, and all the other stuff that I got, I was like, my mind couldn't wrap around why.
The love.
Yeah, I know that now, but even then, I couldn't wrap my head around it. I'm like, well, what did I do? I'm just there, you know, and so it's just learning how to do everything again. And a lot of things, even before my spleen exploded,
that's what we call it.
There were things that I don't remember from before that. Like, things I should remember, I don't remember. But I also hemorrhaged, and I hemorrhaged bad, where I lost blood in my brain. And so it's one of the side effects. So it may get better, it may not. But the things that I'm thankful for is that I'm still here. I get to see my children grow up. I get to be with the amazing people that come into my chats, that come onto my panel, that are there for me. And I am one of the luckiest people in the world with everybody that is in my circle, everybody that shows up and supports me, and it's overwhelming at times, but at the same time it helps me keep my head above that water so that I don't drown in self-pity.
Yep.
Because things just aren't going the way it should. And I will be 100% honest. My scar hurts like crazy. It really does. And the last 2 days, it feels like it's being pulled, and it shouldn't because I'm losing weight, not gaining it. So but it's the nerves reconnecting, and they're firing, and it is not comfortable. It is not comfortable. So I'm fidgeting a lot the last couple of days, and I'm sure you're starting to hurt too, Darlene. You look like you're starting to reposition. So with this, you're still, Rosie's Closet says, Crystal says, you're still here because you have a purpose. Maybe it is this, helping so many others with mental health. Love you, girl. I love you too. And I love everybody in here. I greatly appreciate you guys being here with us today, and hope to do this again really soon. And with that, much love, and we will catch you guys again soon. Much love.
Bye, you guys.
Bye. All right.